first thing that you're going to see when you get into LD21 is that we gave it a facelift, right? We gave it a completely new interface. A lot went into this. So again, I am going to kind of give the elevator pitch on this. We're going to try to barrel through it. But the two main things I want to cover about the UI today are that one, it was ultimately chosen by users, by Lectora users through Lectora, interestingly. And two, there's actually some logic behind how we set up the colors and the icons for this interface. All right. So I'm particularly proud of this, right? Like this is kind of a testament to the power of Lectora. When we first started developing here, okay, what we realized is we knew we needed to update the interface. We wanted to go super modern, and we did. We built this kind of very stark, all black and white version. Looked absolutely wonderful on paper, but we realized that while we were working with our own work, it was actually kind of causing some problems, and it wasn't going to cut it for our users. It kind of became a little difficult to navigate the ribbon, to find some key elements in the Project Explorer, and just added a little time to development. So we did some internal, some external focus groups, and what came out of that was pretty clear. We need to put some color back in, okay? And obviously we also needed to make sure that it worked before we went through the pretty, laborious process of getting the design in the tool, right? Because what if we ran into another similar situation where we built out this really beautiful UI, but actually it's not very practical. So Alan and I both mocked up a couple versions of the new UI icons. We simulated the tool, built it out, sent it around internally, got some feedback, and we ended up running down to a couple selected versions that we all kind of as a group liked. But we knew we needed to kind of crowdsource the final choice, right? Just to make sure that our users were happy about that. So to do that, to get to the spot that you're currently looking at on screen right here, what we actually did was we set up a simulation of Lectora inside of Lectora. And then we added xAPI statements using Lectora Desktop's updated xAPI method, right? So we went in and we updated the context of the xAPI statements that we generate in the tool so that you can get page level item analysis, okay? And then we ran it through a focus group. So actually the page that I've got up right here is the beginning page of what we did for a UI test for our focus group. It's built all entirely in Lectora, and it tests the new UI of Lectora built inside of Lectora. Hopefully my connection will actually connect and show you the next page. But basically what we did is we popped up a couple different examples, variants of our UI designs on screen, and we asked our users to go through and do stuff, right? Find a shape in the background, in the Project Explorer, find a text object, find the things that you would do to actually build a course and use Lectora, right? And then we repeated that process for the different UI variants that we have in there, but with, obviously differences in what we were asking and how we were asking it. Now, along the way of doing that, we tracked every single thing, like I said, that users were doing with xAPI. We tracked time between clicks, we tracked misses of clicks, we tracked how many clicks a person got right, we tracked whether or not they were skipping an individual section. We also used Lectora's question options, right? So the built-in quizzing to grab qualitative data from them. What do you like most about your favorite design? What would your favorite style? What would make your favorite style even better? And then we cobbled all that together on our LRS and generated some dashboards. And what came out of that was pretty great because it gave us some really, really, really clear evidence of which UI we should run with. First thing that we saw, qualitatively, the favorite style, we had a very clear winner. We had about 75% of our users that went for variant B or style 2 in here. But quantitative data, we also saw very similar stuff. So aside from the general responses about which was harder or easier to use, that time tracking stuff that we did came in really, really handy. First of all, you see it in red there. Our original design for this, it took almost twice, actually maybe even a little over twice the amount of time for users to perform a task in that version as compared to both option B and option C that we presented them with afterward. Okay. Now, option B and option C that we had were remarkably close. You can see on the graph there on the right-hand side, average time to complete each variant in minutes. There's almost no distinction between B and C. This was really, really interesting to us, and kind of further proof that the qualitative data would certainly kind of play out if we went ahead and invested in this UI, because the way we staggered this course, we should have kind of seen that A would have taken a really long time, B would have taken X amount of minutes, and then we should have probably seen a noticeable speed up in variant C, just because you're used to the general process that you're being asked to go through. So even if it's not the same stuff, right, I'm gonna get asked to do a thing, it's probably gonna be like this, I'll click over here, and your mind's in the right place. But we didn't see that. So what we kind of gleaned from that was that not only was option B the generally best perceived style, right? It's voted here as the easiest to use, voted over here as the favorite, but it had the best performance effect on our users as well. So they were able to get things done faster in that version than either of the other options that they were presented. Additionally, it had fewer missed clicks by variant, fewer skips, all this data that we were able to pull from out of the box statements that came out of Lectora. Okay, now I think that's pretty awesome just in and of itself. But then we took that one step further, and we realized, okay, so we're showing we've got a selected view here, and we're showing kind of a limited set of the tool, but inside the tool there are spots that just have a whole lot going on, right? In your insert tab, in your tools tab, there's a lot of stuff to choose from. So we kind of were faced with the challenge there, because if we went in and we just blanket colored every single thing in the tool, kind of the way that it gets done often in this kind of thing, we might go right back to the problem we had to begin with, where we're losing some efficiency based on color or lack thereof. So instead, we created this. I got kind of on a little particular about this, and we ended up creating some logic around how the colors are applied. This is our palette that we applied to the Lectora UI, and what you'll notice is that it groups objects that you may commonly use. So structural objects in here are now green. Test objects refer back to the LD19 color. Those are red. Same with surveys. Those are blue. Media objects are all yellow. Utility objects, as we name them, are brown, right? You can read the list here. But what this does for you is that it makes it, once you kind of understand the pattern, it makes it a lot easier to find things in the Project Explorer and in the ribbon by using way markers, right? So I know that if I'm trying to find a video file in a really long, for instance, Project Explorer, well, I just need to look for yellow and there it is, right? Same thing, if I need to find an action, I know those are in orange, and every single thing I need there, I could just look for the orange and grab it. Same thing with shapes, right? They're always this blue color and a very specific shape in there. So we also applied it to our ribbon so that you know kind of what like objects are like. But beyond that, to keep from kind of color chaos from taking over, we also minimize the color on anything that isn't used a whole lot, right? So in our add text pane over here, the primary object that you're going to use is this text block over to the left. Yeah, you might be using date and time a lot, maybe you're using breadcrumb a lot, but in every single course you're going to use that text block. So we made sure that we put that one in color, and we made the small icons a little more neutral. The intention here was really to figure out a way to update and freshen LD, not only in terms of the features and options that you have to build really great courses inside this tool, but also to try to help you guys with building in a little bit of efficiency just in the way that the UI is structured, right? I hope that you'll love it, because we've gotten some really great feedback from early users. We all have grown to really be pretty proud of and happy with it. So hopefully you do too.